Nice.
Alrighty.
You've had a long day. Shut your pie hole.
Okay, if someone who's prim and proper like him probably wouldn't say that phrase per se. Pie hole? I mean...
Well,
Shut your
he's
trap
cracking.
would probably be a more...
Shut your trap might be. He might be saying pie hole because she's Southern.
That would, like him mockingly, that could make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but I agree. Shut your trap sounds like it would be more of a thing someone dressed like that would say. What was she going to say? She took a photo.
I kind of miss the
She
days
took
where people dressed like that, where they had like neckerchiefs and shit. I really like that really fancy type of dress. Like we were really boring now with our suits.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta figure out why we suddenly switched over from those really cool clothes to suits. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Probably because it's easier to wear a suit than anything like that. But, I mean, I'm just saying, it looks less cool.
Yeah, I found a set of armor in Bloodborne yesterday. It was like the knight's formal attire, and it looks so badass. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wear it. I don't care that it's worse than my other suit.
Like I've been playing through Final Fantasy 15, and they actually do a really great job of explaining why certain characters look differently, and it's very subtle. Like Noctis and his friends all wear basically what marks them as members of the Royal Guard and the Royal Prince. They're custom-made clothing specifically for them. That's why they look so unique and out of place. It's clothing specifically to do that. Like, it kind of makes sense to me. And then, on the flip side...
Yeah, but isn't it just like a black t-shirt?
It depends. Because you actually have like 4 outfits from the get-go you can wear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have 4 different outfits, and they actually do have different stat changes. Like, you have casual wear that, like, protects them from cold. That's a big, like, fucking parka.
That's cool. I didn't know any of this. I really want to play Final Fantasy 15.
It's really good. It's really good. But
I need to work on my fucking Last Guardian video before I even think about getting another game.
But but then there you have the enemies from Niflheim, and Niflheim just seems to have a fancier sense of dress. So they're the ones with the really gaudy outfits, the really like audacious looking ones, and they still look really cool. I'm sitting here, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool, like, to have a modern fantasy world where everyone's still dressed like they're from Niflheim, but like you see them in the working in an office space. Like a modern office space, like a modern cubicle farm, that kind of thing. Like
That would be,
like how awesome would that
cool.
be? Like I don't know why we like no one's ever really done a modern fantasy setting. Can you think of any property that has ever done a modern fantasy setting outside of Final Fantasy?
Well, I don't know. Define modern.
As in, okay,
Like,
let's take a standard idea: elves,
like,
dwarves, and all that stuff, but in a modern setting.
No, I haven't seen anything.
The closest I can think of is American fucking Dragon. And that...
Because, I mean, I could imagine there being some anime that I've never seen that does that. Because, like, I'm trying to think of, like, modern stuff, like, with like, you know, technology, like, you know, holographic cell phone displays and guns and, fucking, you know, like, airplanes or, like, cars or, like, you know, skyscrapers or, you know, like, stuff that's, like, you know, stereotypically futuristic, but then also with elves and dwarves and dragons and you know,
because
magic.
That's the thing. Like, was it the only thing I can think of live action is Once Upon a Time, but that's a very specific subsect of fantasy. That's fairy tales, and it's like that's
and that's. Yeah.
It's not like
it's
not like you take the general concept of fantasy and apply it to a modern setting. It's you take very specific elements.
Interesting.
And that's what I liked about Final Fantasy 15, and that's what appealed to me initially is the idea of people fighting with swords in a modern street, and people still having guns, but people fight with swords for different reasons, and it's like that's really cool.
Does Star Wars count? Star Wars
is future fantasy.
Yeah, I know. Everybody, like it's because Star Wars is definitely a fantasy story that takes place in the future.
Yeah, which is like I want to take a fantasy story that takes place in the modern day, or at least near modern, with maybe some futuristic technology. Because I like the idea of like a Magitech engine. Like that shit is cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because your bread and butter is like the cyberpunk aesthetic.
Oh
right?
yeah, I love that. And so like currently,
which is sort of like diametrically opposed to like swords and sorcery high fantasy stuff.
Yeah. So like my idea is like I'm currently writing War After Impact, and I'm actually writing a campaign setting for Pathfinder built around Freehaven, the city in that story. However, I'm also going to be, and I've been randomly generating maps on Map to Globe. It's a really cool program online where you can just randomly generate global maps.
That's kind of cool.
And I've been downloading, I've been generating all these little cool maps, and I'm going to apply them to a unique campaign setting that is a modern world that is also a modern fantasy. So you're going to have Magitech guns. You're going to have, bullets that are enchanted and all that shit. You're going to have people fighting with magic, people fighting with technology, people fighting with mecha up against giant gremlins or whatever. I don't know. Like giant ogres.
Yeah, because like that's one of the things that like in order to like, go into like the future, you would need to I don't know, justify the technological advancements against the baseline magical stuff. They need to like find a way to like basically like industrialize all of the stuff that they already have. So like
well, I mean,
like
my
something
biggest
with
argument is magic is not accessible to everyone. Technology might be more accessible to everyone, and there might be people like who are diametrically opposed to magic. And then on the flip side, people who are diametrically opposed to technology. So you get all these different factions who want different things spread out across different countries, and then certain countries who are okay with kind of mixing and matching. So you have like maybe elves are very much all magic all the time. So you have elven cities that have like no technology but are all magic, and they have all this really cool magic shit going on here. But then you have like dwarves who are like, magic? Fuck that noise. We got technology, bitches. And they have these like really like advanced underground cities. And you have like humans who are like, we like magic, we like technology. Let's combine the two. And so you have like modern cities and shit.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like you need like a history. Like you would need like a timeline of like how did it get to this point? Like because like you've never played a Dragon Age Origin. But, like, they have, like, the Dwarven City that's, like, underground and just, like, doesn't interact with the rest of the world. Except to, like, export, the lyrium, which is the magic juice. And it's just, like, how going, like, into the future where, like, more things are, like, automated and more things are, like, globalized. And, like, these countries, they can't just stay separate. Like, as soon as they have, like, the internet or, like, global communication, or whatever the fucking equivalent of that would be.
Yeah, I mean, that makes me wonder, like, one of the rules in Pathfinder that's really cool, and this is what got me really thinking about this on a more serious note, is when you're a wizard in Pathfinder, you have a spell book, which has all your spells in it. When you come across another wizard or another arcane caster, if they have a book or something that they write down their spells on, you can copy those spells into your spell book, so you have those spells. And so my thought is, if a wizard were to be in the modern day, does that mean they can just go online and Google search a spell they need? Like, do they just automatically is their spellbook a tablet?
That's interesting.
That's my really cool idea. It's like, how do you modernize all these classes when you have the information age?
And I wonder, is there, like, the magical equivalent of the internet? Not, like, technology, but, like, actually, like, you need magic to jack into this internet.
Well, I mean, that's...
Sorry, I'm eating leftovers.
It's fine. I can imagine there's a... We're completely off tangent. We've not made any progress in the game, but I love this topic.
Do do a slow zoom on Phoenix's face, scratching his chin for like the entire time. And by this point, you're like right up in his eye. And it's like the camera's like shaking. And it's just taking up the whole screen.
I think it actually, like, you can't zoom past a certain point. Like, it's impossible to. We'll see.
Well, then in Sony Vegas, I can do that in Sony Vegas. I don't know if you can't do that in Premiere.
But what I was saying was, because there are rules in Pathfinder, very specific ones, where certain class abilities actually change for gunslingers in more modern settings. They actually have, like, if guns are prevalent, you lose this one class feature, but gain this other later class feature at a far earlier level. So, like, what you typically get at first level is gunsmithing, which means you can create your own firearms, very crude firearms, and you get your own first weapon. But in any modern setting where guns are very prevalent, and they're actually like they're cheaper. They're like 1/10 the price. So you don't get a free gun, but you can actually afford one. And on top of that, you don't get gunsmithing, but you get gun training, which is the bread and butter of a firearm-based class, because you get your dexterity bonus to damage. Before that, you're going by the flat damage that your gun does, as opposed to getting your dexterity to damage, which is fucking powerful. You know,
I see.
Yeah, so like creating rules that actually like kind of rewrite old classes is kind of a cool idea to me when a new age has come about. How would gods operate? How does a modern world interact with fucking deities?
Yeah, because that's the thing. In the past, like before the information age, the world was a lot smaller. Like, the places that a human could go were, like, severely limited. If you're like, there's a god at the top of that mountain, it's like, well, okay, how are you going to climb it? Like, you got to send somebody up there to climb it and check, and then come back down alive enough to tell everybody, and by that point, you can just make shit up. So, by the point where you have, like, satellite imaging, and you can actually look at everything, and you actually see that there are real gods just around, like, what do you do? Like, what do they do?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Actually,
do they just become celebrities?
I mean, that's the thing.
Can you, like, actually follow God on Twitter?
Well, that's the thing I actually really like about Final Fantasy 15 is they have gods. There are gods. You come across gods. In fact, in one of the trailers, you see one of the fights with a god. You fight the Archaeon. You fight Titan. The motherfucker is holding up a meteor that crashed into the planet and stopping it from destroying the world. Or at least he's continually holding it up. So you go down and talk to him. And the only reason no one else has gone down and talked to the Archaean before is because A, they weren't one of the royal lineage who could talk to him. And B, it's fucking hot down there. It's way too fucking hot for normal people to really survive. If you actually take status ailments when you're down there because it's so damn hot.
Huh.
So, like, there's real-world reasons why people can't get to talk to the gods. And even then, like, your main love interest is the Oracle, who speaks... She speaks to the gods on behalf of the humans. On the flip side, she has a counterpart who speaks to the humans on a part of the gods. Who is one of the best characters because... Prompto takes pictures during combat and during random parts of the day. You've seen that feature, right?
Yes.
This character, this like reverse Oracle, photobombs you randomly. So wait,
okay, I have a question about Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
Is it always the same 4 dudes, or do you eventually get more party members that you can swap out?
You don't get more party members, but you do get... Actually, at one point you do get a addition to your party, but only briefly. And at one point, someone swaps out for a different character.
Okay.
And they do it pretty well, pretty fluidly, and it all works well. It's just kind of disappointment you don't get full party members. It'd be awesome if you did.
Yeah, it's not like, like the other Final Fantasy games where you just have your main party of 4 and then you have like 7 guys in your pocket that are just sitting there off screen, not helping you in the combat.
Yeah. I think it'd be awesome if I can. I'm hoping they really take this base game and they run with it, because I think out of any of the games, Final Fantasy 15 deserves sequels. Like, I want to see more of this world. I just love all the concepts behind it. I love the gameplay behind it. I love a lot of the characters. I want to see more here, especially since I haven't finished the game yet, but I'm only 3 chapters away. I need more.
I see.
All right, so let's actually get back to what we're supposed to be fucking doing, which is play Phoenix Wright. We've been on like a 20-minute
and that's it for this episode. See you next week, folks. Next time on Game Grumps.
Oh, God.
Hey, I'm Grump.
I'm not so Grump.
And we're the Game Grumps.
I might actually turn that into our actual intro now.
No, don't do that. Only use it for this episode, because it's literally just the Game Grumps intro.
That, I don't have, like, drawn talking heads of us.
You can just use your little, or you don't have to use like talking heads. You can just use your little phoenix guy and my little crab guy. He's a lobster. Fuck, even I called him a crab. What's wrong with me?
Oh, it sounds like you have a really crabby disposition. Okay, let's get.
Really like. I'm crusty because of crustaceans. Okay. She took the photo. And what? Wait a second. She even had a photograph to prove it. But you really can't tell... You really can't tell from the photograph who's shooting who. That's why she said she was going to enlarge the photo. She said it'll drop in quality a mite, but it should let us see who's who. Dun dun. She enlarged the photo. Why won't Von Karma let her show it? I've got a hunch. I bet the enlarged photograph shows something bad for Von Karma.
Really?
This is my chance.
He hid it because it was detrimental to his case? I wonder.
Why would he do such a thing? Oh, to preserve his 40-year winning streak. If I'm wrong, though, it'll mean prison for Edgeworth, or worse. What should I do? Make her show the enlargement.
Wait, no, not of a picture, not of her penis. Oh God, why?
I'm one of those transgender people. I know you think you're
I'm
wrong
from North Carolina. Topical. Topical by like what, 7 months, something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Make her show the enlargement.
That was good. Yeah, make her show the enlargement. Make her show the enlargement. Why the fuck wouldn't I? I'm not. If the persecutor, you enlarged the photograph, did you not? Yeah, I did. Why has that enlargement not been presented to the court? Objection! Because it does not exist. What are y'all talking about? You were the one who told me not to show it in court in the first place, you old fool. What's the meaning of this, Von Karma? His heart. Show the photograph to the court. Show us the enlargement. Objection! Prosecution objects to the submission of this evidence. Objection denied. The witness will show the enlargement.
That's harsh. You can sustain or overrule an objection. To fucking deny an objection. Holy shit. What even does that mean?
Deny. Objection denied. Your objection
not just in my house.
No. Okay. I don't care if you have to send it to me to actually do that, but get the guy, get the Kinbei Matumbo guy, and like have him like show up the objection, and then have him like slap it out of the screen.
Oh, I have a high quality objection bubble, speech bubble. I can send that to you. You can just find that online.
I guess I'll just do all the rest. I guess I'll just find a GIF of Kimba Matumbo and then crop it out into a green screen and do all of that stuff. So yeah, when you get to this episode, you can just send it to me for that edit.
I'll keep that in mind.
Well, I mean, you're gonna hear it when you watch the video while you're editing it.
True.
So, yeah. Still can't see who's firing this. This could be the defendant, or maybe not. Regardless, I'll accept it as evidence. Oh, snap! Happy now, Mr. Wright? There has to be something. I'm a little happy, I guess.
There's something very interesting about that photo you need to take a look at and compare it with some of the evidence you have. Just say.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can already tell the difference between that photo and the first one.
Well, it replaced that photo in the court record.
Oh. Well, you couldn't see the muzzle flash in the first photo. Well, I guess they enlarged it. Whatever. I'll just accept that as. I'll just accept that as a given. And little good it has done us. That's why I requested she not show it. I suppose that means that the cross-examination is over. Obviously. I'd like to close the cross-examination of Miss Hart. And none too soon. That was a flagrant waste of time. Mr. Von Karma, do you have anything to add? I've stated everything I've needed to when this trial began. Decisive evidence and a decisive witness. What else could possibly be required?
Actual facts.
Yeah. How about evidence that actually shows the defendant? I'm just trying to declare. Wait, it's not supposed to go like this. There has to be a clue in this photo. Let's look at this photo for a second. There has to be a clue in this photo. Oh! Whoa! What?
What?
Oh, gee. I wonder. I got you fucking show evidence right here. I got you show evidence all over this bitch. We have spent enough time talking about the evidence. Indeed. We've heard opinions on every piece of evidence, but this enlargement. I see no point in retracing our steps. This is bad. Real bad. What should I do?
Object to the enlargement. You can't show...
Wait.
You need to object to the enlargement first. As a contradiction. Not object to it being submitted to the court, but...
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay. There. That's... Yeah, okay. Your Honor, there is something decidedly strange with this enlargement. What might that be?
It's lasting more than 4 hours.
If your objection lasts more than 4 hours, call the judge. Would you show the court what you mean? Why this photo is strange? All right, here goes nothing. I'll show the judge what's strange about this photo. Yeah. Am I clicking on the right part?
Don't ask questions. You're supposed to be going through this blind. I've given you enough.
It's a pixel. Yeah, it's a pixel hunt. Is it his left hand, or do I need to click somewhere else on the arm?
Give it a present now, and if you're wrong, I'll tell you.
Okay then. Yeah, Your Honor. The shooter? I'm not sure I understand. What about the shooter is strange? Look at the... There we go. Yeah, okay, good. The hand holding the pistol. Yeah. The hand directly contradicts another piece of evidence. This man's The man's left hand does... This man's left hand does what? What? They'll let me show you. Show you the evidence the left hand contradicts. The pistol! Show him that pistol! The evidence is clear. The man in this photograph is holding a pistol in his left hand. However, the prints on the murder weapon were from Edgeworth's right hand. Ergo, the man shooting the pistol in this photograph is not Mr. Edgeworth. Now that everyone in the courtroom has quieted down, I would like to reconvene this court of law. Mr. Wright, yes, Your Honor, you have given us definitive proof today.
Why are you talking like that?
We now, I don't know, the judge is like being all condescending and bitchy now. I don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. We know that it was not Mr. Edgeworth that fired the pistol last night. However, this leaves us with a rather large problem. If Mr. Edgeworth didn't do it, then who shot the victim? Precisely. We have seen there were no other people at the lake that night. What? Who but the defendant could have shot the victim?
Larry!
Larry! I can get him off. That'll be easy. Yes. The victim himself. That's what Edgeworth said, like earlier in the defendant's lobby. The one explanation remaining. The man who shot the victim was none other than the victim himself. The fuck? So, you're saying that the victim committed suicide? Yes, Your Honor. I can think of no other explanation. Indeed, that does seem to be the only remaining option. I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. Suicide is out of the question. What? The examination of the victim's wounds revealed the distance at which he was shot. The distance? The victim was clearly shot from further than a meter away.
Okay, so then the picture on the boat is even more wrong.
Yeah, but is that a plot hole in the game, or is that a piece of evidence?
That's for you to decide. Again, I want you to still actually solve these mysteries. You ask me these questions and I can't tell you things.
Yeah, well, no, that's obvious. That's like, that's just looking at it, you can see. There's no way it could have been suicide. How long is the victim's arm? I'm sure the
it's just a really
accuracy
long
of
arm.
this
Just keeps stretching, goes like off screen and comes back on.
Of course I am. I had already considered the possibility of suicide, you see. The autopsy report has been updated. You received... God damn it. How many times are they gonna update the autopsy report after it's been submitted to evidence? Very well. Allow me to state my opinion. Considering the situation, the shooter had to be the defendant, Mr. Edgeworth. However, the prints on the gun reveal the shooter was not Mr. Edgeworth. It's a conundrum. Therefore, I would like to suspend the proceedings for this trial for today. Court orders the defense and the prosecution to come to further investigate this matter. Understood. Yes, Your Honor. That's all. The court is adjourned. I don't know why I'm talking like that for the judge. December 26th, 1:15 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Ooh, that was a close one. Hey, don't you have anything to say? No. I haven't yet been declared innocent, right? Well, yeah, but what happened out on the lake anyway? If he didn't commit suicide, then who? The shooter was about a meter away, too. What? Don't give me that look. I did not kill him. I was just... I was just kidding around.
Terrible sense of humor. You do not joke with your client like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go check on Maya. Oh, right? What? Tell her something for me. What? Tell her I'm the father. Tell her to watch what she says in court. That's all.
So close, Edward.
Yeah, I'm
so close.
I'm sure she'll be happy to hear you say that, Edgeworth. Jerk. Baka.
Reminds me, you saw the video I sent you from Final Fantasy 15 about them the bromance. Did you see that?
Did you?
Yeah, I sent it on Facebook.
I don't think so. Was that was no? The video you sent me on Facebook was one of like a guy like
I sent you
talking
this
to himself.
I sent you it earlier today.
Oh, I think I missed it.
Yeah, the one thing that Final Fantasy 15 really gets is a sense of bromance between the four guys. It's hilarious.
I'll check it out. A requisition to transcript of Lotta's entire testimony. I thought it might give me some ammunition for the trial tomorrow. Of course, she didn't see the shooter, so the only part of her testimony that stood was the bang she heard. The Lotta's deposition added to court record.
It literally is just the word bang.
To be continued.
Right, I'm actually feeling pretty tired right now. Want to call it here?
If you want to.
Yeah, I think I'm going to, because I think maybe I don't know why. I guess this week has been really draining on me. We can just hang out afterwards. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop recording.
All right.
No.